Hi, it's Cathy with inkingitupwithcathy.com, and I am back with another installment of Tipping on Tuesday. Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful card that uses the delightfully detailed designer series paper. So let's get started. For your cardstock, you're going to need a piece of Coastal Cabana that measures 5.5 by 8.5. You'll need 2 pieces of Whisper White that measure 4 inches by 5.25, one for the outside matting and one for the inside of the card. Just a scrap strip of Whisper White to put your sentiment on. A piece of the shimmery white cardstock, which measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And a 5.5 inch piece of the Pool Party shimmer ribbon. So that's right here. So we're going to be working with the delightfully detailed designer series paper, and this comes with a cardboard piece over the top and the bottom, and each sheet has the tissue paper on top and below it. Make sure you keep them in that because these things are very fragile. Well, they're not fragile, but they've got lots of little parts that can catch, and you don't want them snagging on each other. There are 2 of this 12 by 12 pattern of floral, and there are 2 with the other patterns, which I'll be working with on future videos in the next coming weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a sheet of this that I've already been working with. Grab it back here, because I'll just repeat using that. And when I get using the other sheet, I'm going to show you a good way of cutting it. So tune in for some videos over the next week or so, and you'll see those. So let me get this out of the way. I've got this piece here, and what I'm going to look for on this is this flower here, and I'm going to use that on the front of my card here, and so I want to use it in my background as well. So I'm going to take that shimmer white piece, and I'm going to lay it here so that I pick up that flower and then also some of this border, because I want to use the border area as well. So I'm going to place that here, and I'm going to do it this way so I can get as much of that border as I can. And take my scissors and just start trimming here along these. Until I get a piece that is larger than, or just larger than my piece that I'm working with. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, as you can see, there is a Whisper White side and there is a very vanilla side. And on this card, you're going to want the Whisper White side up. And I'm going to place this on here like that, and making sure that this border is off the side because I don't want that line there. So we're going to put that just like that. And I'm going to take some rubbing alcohol, the 70%, and a spritzer, and I've got about 1.25 inches of rubbing alcohol in here, and approximately 10 to 12 drops of the Coastal Cabana re-inker. I'm going to just take that and come up above it, and you don't have to hold on to this, but you don't want to saturate it too much. So you want kind of a light misting, just about like that. And it will curl a little bit on you, but that's okay. And when you pull that off, there you'll see that beautiful image. Now, I like this area here better than down here, so I think I'm going to turn this around, but we'll see as this dries what happens with it. So then I'm going to go back to this piece, and I want it a little bit darker, so I'm going to mist a little bit more, because on the inside of the card I want this bordered area to be darker. And I want my flower to be a little bit darker as well. So that looks good. So I'm going to set that to the side and let that dry as well. It's only going to take a couple of minutes because this is rubbing alcohol. So let's move on to the pool party ribbon. So this is fairly close in coloring to this Coastal Cabana, but I actually want it to be a little deeper, and I want it to be more of the Coastal Cabana color. So I'm going to take my sponge brayer and my Coastal Cabana ink, and I'm just going to place the left hand portion of the sponge over here in the Coastal Cabana ink, because I really don't need to ink up that whole sponge. And I'm just going to run back and forth on that ribbon. And make it darker and more Coastal Cabana instead of the blue. There we go. So now you can see that the tones are more in line with each other than the blue was. So that's a fun way of coloring your ribbon, even if you have a different color of ribbon. So the first thing we can do now that we've got this piece, and I'm going to leave that at the top, I'm going to take the Pick a Pattern washi tape and place that along the bottom here. And then I'll take some of the tear and tape. And with the tear and tape, you want to remember to always place your tear and tape on your cardstock as opposed to your ribbon, because your ribbon can go wavy or wonky and your paper can't do that. So this way you'll always get a straight line. So then we'll come back here and place our ribbon. And I'm actually going to flip it, make sure that I have the deeper side, which is the side that I sponged. I love that color, how it turned out. Okay, and then I can get my adhesive and place it on the back. Place this piece down. Then I'll come with my scrap piece, and the original card I did Sent with Love, and this time I'm going to use the With Love and Sympathy stamp, and both of these are from the Itty Bitty Greetings stamp set, which I just love. It's a 2 package set, and it's got all kinds of choices for just about any card that you're going to need. So I'm going to use some Memento ink and just stamp this on there. Oh, didn't get a very good base, so let's try that again. And we'll cut that out with the classic label punch. Just like that. And again, that'll just be attached right down here on the front of the card. Just like that. Now we'll come back and get this flower out of here, and I'm going to just snip along the flower and remove it from the rest. It just takes a minute. And you can save the rest of these pieces and piece them on your envelope or anywhere else on a different card. So you don't have to waste the rest of this. Just hang on to it and maybe you'll find a spot that you want to put it. So, but we'll be using a portion of this still for the inside of the card. Let me get this one last little area here. Like that. And there's my flower. Now, in order to attach that to the card, I'm going to use a dimensional. And place it in the center on the back. Place that here on the card. And to hide that, I am going to take some pearls and place them over these areas. And I've got one large and then some of the smaller pearls. Just like that. And then finally we can attach this to the front of our card. Just like that. Okay, and now we'll work on the inside of the card. So the inside of the card, I am going to stamp a sentiment from the Kindness and Compassion stamp set, and I'm going to stamp this Sending Comforting Hugs and Healing Prayers, Sorry for Your Loss on the inside. And again, I'll use the Memento ink. And place that up here. And I'll move that to the side and come get my piece here. And I'm going to get my silicone craft mat and I'm going to place this face down on there. Now for gluing this down, what I found is a great way to do it is get a sponge and dedicate this for glue, and then get your liquid glue and place a little bit into an area. Now if you're attaching to ribbon or something like that, you want to keep that full strength, but since we're attaching paper to paper, you can kind of water it down. So I'm just going to do one little spritz of water, and this is just a spray bottle of water. And I'm just going to mix that around and get that kind of little mixed and liquidy, and then just come back here and pick that up and tap it onto the back side, just like that. And then you can take this and place it down onto the bottom of your card. Let me move that mat completely out of the way. Just like that, and press down on it. Get it to adhere, and then turn it over and trim those pieces off. Just like that. And just make sure it's sticking real well. And then you can attach that to the inside of your card. That was the original. Let's get this one. And there is your card using the delightfully detailed designer paper as a stencil. Hope you like that, and join me for the next week or 2 weeks and you'll see more projects using the delightfully detailed designer series paper. Have a good day.